My god, everyone. They actually did it. Listen, Midjourney has been around for quite some time now. They predate the original release of DALL-E 2. To put things into perspective, the amount of time that it took us to go from Midjourney version 5 to Midjourney version 6 is about as long as it's taken us to go from the very first version of Midjourney to the third version of Midjourney. So the development of V6 has been nearly twice as long as the previous longest development, and it's easy to understand why. The AI art landscape completely changed once a Midjourney level competitor, SDXL, came out for basically free on hundreds of different platforms, and then OpenAI crushed everything when DALL-E 3 was announced with never before seen levels of coherence, prompt understanding at a really impressive scale and price level. You can still, to this very day, access DALL-E 3 for entirely free on a few different platforms, which I'll get into in today's video. But like I said, opening up this video, Midjourney V6 has done it. They are competing with DALL-E 3. I didn't think it would be this good, I'll be real. I had my doubts, but they've impressed me so far. And guys, the best part about this whole deal, this is just the alpha version of Midjourney V6. It's going to get better. Let's go ahead and open things up with some initial reactions from the community at large. This post is by Chaseline, a phenomenal AI account. Big headline here, Midjourney V6 can now generate words. Chaseline says that they look much more beautiful compared to DALL-E 3, which is very subjective. In today's video, we're going to get into my subjective view and my thoughts around my own testing, but he's not wrong. You can absolutely get good-looking, realistic words out of Midjourney V6. Prompt for this, man standing alone in a dark, empty area, staring at a neon sign that says, empty. And that's absolutely what you get. He's just sort of standing alone, staring at the sign. It says empty. That looks like an image I'd get out of DALL-E 3. A quick comparison with DALL-E 3, well, it reveals images on a similar level. Neon signs all spelled correctly. However, I feel like these images have a little bit more of a Photoshop-esque vibe, where with Midjourney you get something that's a little bit more cinematic and realistic. Oh, and just for gits and chiggles, I ran the same exact prompt in SDXL. As you can expect, it gets a few letters right, but overall misses the mark. I'm not really going to be comparing V6 to SDXL today. All you have to know is that SDXL is a more versatile, more free, and open source model with its own benefits in comparison to Midjourney and DALL-E 3. SDXL is more for specialized use cases. SDXL compared to Midjourney V5, obviously V6 is better than SDXL. Our next example from the community is even more impressive. Realistic stand-up pouch product photo mockup decorated with bananas, raisins, and apples, the words organic snacks featured prominently. This looks like a real advertisement. I would not be able to tell the difference between this and an actual photo. This looks real, and I am very impressed by the text on this. It sort of wraps and conforms around the bag in a realistic way. Very, very sharp and detailed. A quick run through with DALL-E 3 reveals some interesting details. All of the images that DALL-E 3 produces don't look as photorealistic or as legit in terms of being a product advertisement. Maybe it's the word mockup in the prompt. Either way, the images are absolutely impressive. However, only one of the generations from DALL-E 3's side is actually spelt correctly with organic snacks. Organic gets messed up in these other three images. Now, we don't really know how many generations it took to get this perfect image from Midjourney. Of course, we're going to do our own testing later, but I gotta say, I do prefer this Midjourney image over DALL-E 3. We've also got an anime movie poster with the word tomorrow spelled correctly. This text is a little bit more messed up, I think. It doesn't fit as naturally. As Chaseline points out, don't think the Japanese is spelt correctly here. It's very unlikely. Overall, pretty cool though. This is a Coca-Cola ad, traditional Hawaiian patterns on the Coca-Cola itself. Now guys, this is less impressive to me because the Coca-Cola logo is literally everywhere. I know DALL-E 3 could get this correctly, and probably even SDXL. I will say though, some of these patterns on the Coke can are a little bit screwed up, and I think some of that mishmashiness, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I think DALL-E 3 handles just a little bit better. Hey, here we got 3 words spelled correctly. Ice cream oasis, minimal design. Really like the way this turned out. Another try word, vector of a biker, freedom on wheels. This one came out really phenomenal. One of those times where I'm like, is that AI generated? It looks pretty legit. This would trick me, most likely. Another advertisement, floral symphony. Words are a little bit more screwed up on this one, I think. Not bad, though. Shows, some of Midjourney's diversity here with this movie poster. Just says fallen in this, iconic looking text. Really like that. A nice juicy burger. As you can see, the photorealism is still strong with Midjourney. Ever since V5, Midjourney has kind of led in this photorealistic direction, and this is definitely no different. But we have coherent text saying the big one. Now we've got this little Pixar hedgehog. You can see he's holding a sign that says sunflowers. You can see it's screwed up, though, added 2 S's. Still very competitive looking image. And we've also got Midjourney, the little Midjourney boat. Very cool. Thankfully, Chaseling gave us a little bit more information here. Each picture actually took 3 to 10 attempts each to get that perfect wording. I've noticed that it is pretty good at getting words right off the bat sometimes. We'll get into that later. Chaseling notes that superior aesthetics kind of make up for the slightly less accuracy in comparison to DALL-E 3. I'm excited to get in my own testing, so I'm going to run through the rest of these community posts pretty quickly. This is by the legendary Nick St. Pierre on Twitter, another phenomenal AI account. Shows off a direct comparison from V5.2 to V6. As you can see, no correct text from 5.2, but V6 has open late spelt in perfect neon letters with a nice looking bar, some general realistic prompt accuracy. The big difference between the 2 images in this example is this very specific camera that's noted. Obviously, V6 is closer to that specific camera, showing better prompt accuracy. I think there's a higher level of creativity that can be seen from V6 as well, especially with this example here. Again, V6 being on the right-hand side. Just some more realistic, creative, intrinsic details. You can also see that better prompt following in this example. Again, this is all linked down below if you want to get a little bit deeper into it, but this looks way more like a screenshot from a movie than this does, I think. Nick does a pretty comprehensive overview here. I recommend you check out the full thread. Let's do some testing of our own, shall we? Huge complaint from me. Why are we still generating in Discord? Guys, get that web interface going. I am sick of this. It is genuinely annoying to have to type /imagine in every single time I want to do a prompt. Anyways, as you can see by this image right here, we absolutely can do some pretty wonderful lemon characters with some accurate Midjourney V6 text as well. Let's try a movie poster. We're going to make a lemon character with the MattVidPro movie title, essentially. See if it can actually spell MattVidPro right, which is going to be a little bit more challenging than text that you would already see. Oh, and very interesting results indeed. As you can see in the top corner over here, we actually did get MattVidPro spelled correctly. Not something you see very typically. I think the lemon character is creative and unique, although he's a little bit squiggly and weird looking. This is a pretty weird prompt to generate. Funnily enough, actually, in that image, we also have a correct Disney logo right up in the tippity top here. As you can see, none of the other ones actually got MattVidPro spelled correctly. I think that with better prompting, though, we could get it more consistent and more big text on screen. Again, with every new release of an AI image generator comes with new prompting techniques to get the most out of it. From what I've heard, if you want better prompt accuracy, you go ahead and switch to raw mode, which we will go ahead and do. Oh, and by the way, you do need to have a Midjourney subscription plan to access V6 right now, and it's not the default model. You have to do /settings and then change it inside of Discord. Again, Midjourney, why are we still using Discord? Oh yeah, a better prompt goes a long way. One image actually got text perfectly with a very good Disney logo as well. MattVidPro and this weird looking lemon character. Again, the lemon character is actually a little bit screwed up. We have another MattVidPro down written at the bottom, which is kind of funny. And then the rest of these come pretty close. This one comes really close. Overall, impressed. So now that we have a pretty decent prompt, one that actually gets us, quote unquote perfect text in the image, I want to go ahead and compare this exact prompt in DALL-E 3. By the way, guys, there are two places you can use DALL-E 3 for entirely free right now. The first one is Bing Image Creator. That's the one we're on right now. And the second one is Microsoft Designer Image Creator. Both are just essentially pinging the DALL-E 3 API from OpenAI, and Microsoft is just footing the bill for it, more or less. And the results, guys, in comparison to Midjourney, wow! Okay, with this specific prompt, Midjourney actually handily beats DALL-E 3. I mean, this has no good text on it at all. You know, we have the word matte down here, but that's it. I think the lemon characters look a little bit more Disney Pixar. They actually look more consistent overall, but this is the closest image that DALL-E 3 produced here to getting correct text. And I mean, it's more stylized and stuff, but it doesn't really get it quite fully. Like, you can see it says MattVidPro, but not perfect. And Disney Pixar's duplicated on both sides? I don't know, that's kind of shocking. Like, DALL-E 3 actually lost in this test. Giving it a rerun, we kind of get more of the same here. Again, like, VidPro is spelled correctly in these two. Very nice looking Disney-esque character, sure, and a better Disney logo, shockingly. But it is just not perfect, and we have some, like, weird cutoffs, like the MattVidPro is cut off up here, it's spelled correctly, but I think there's just a greater emphasis on the actual character rather than the text for DALL-E 3, at least with this prompt. This, to me, is proof that these models can absolutely go head-to-head with each other, which is not what I was expecting at all from Midjourney V6. Now, guys, I do have a little conspiracy theory as to what I think is going on with this. Why DALL-E 3 produces sometimes a little bit worse text, sometimes a little bit better text, but overall has better characters. And Midjourney will be very realistic looking, maybe worse animated characters, and text that, again, kind of goes head-to-head. My theory here is that Midjourney V6 is synthetically trained to produce text, whereas DALL-E 3 is naturally trained to produce text. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this with my final thoughts at the end of the video, but I think that DALL-E 3 has shifted the market so significantly that Midjourney had to do text, or people would just see it as a flop. So now I want to jump into Midjourney's territory, where it reigns supreme typically. This is photorealism, realistic photos, stuff that tricks your brain. So the prompt for this guy was photo taken on an iPhone, a close-up of a Shih Tzu puppy wearing a pirate outfit, cute Instagram. Obviously, I wanted a photo that looked like it was taken by someone on their phone and got uploaded to Instagram. I think it succeeds very successfully. These dogs look downright real. I mean, you could trick someone with these photos. They look legit for the most part. The details, the textures, the lighting, I mean, it's pretty professional looking, but also not at the same time. And this one even has a little bit of an Instagram filter on it. I like that. Like, they're somewhat professional, but not perfect. Now, if we go ahead and compare that to DALL-E 3, you can see, I think the dog's hair looks a little bit less realistic in general. Like, the dogs are very cute, they are very realistic looking, but like the fluffy fur doesn't look as legit as this does. Like, this is downright real, and this is just like barely touching that. I think the pirate outfit is a little bit more well defined. I think the prompt understanding of like a pirate outfit on a dog is a lot better with DALL-E 3, but again, these just don't look as much like real Instagram photos. This one maybe is touching like an Instagram photo a little bit more. This one is pretty professional looking as well. They just look a little bit more synthetic than the realism that you're getting out of Midjourney V6. Really impressed by Midjourney on this front. They were able to keep everything that they gained with V5 while also adding a lot of what they lost in comparison to DALL-E 3, the text understanding, the prompt understanding. I think like this is pretty evident here that the pirate idea, the idea of a pirate uniform, like DALL-E 3 just gets that on another level. Like, we got the little skull and bones, it looks all cute. You're just not really seeing that as much with the Midjourney images, but like, it's not that far behind. Alright, now I'm going to switch over to testing both realism and famous pop culture characters at the same exact time. And I have the perfect comedic way to do this. So this prompt was Walter White and Jesse Pinkman cooking up blue crystals in a lab, selfie taken on iPhone. Midjourney V6 does a pretty good job replicating like an Instagram selfie, especially this one is probably the best one in the top left-hand corner. But you could see we're still getting this issue where multiple characters on screen are just a problem, and, you know, Walter White and Jesse Pinkman are kind of blending in together as like two Walter Whites. It's a little bit weird. This is the closest one, I think, but that is still an issue, which disappoints me a little bit. However, what disappoints me more is the fact that, you know, this prompt just was blocked 3 times in a row by DALL-E 3, so I wasn't able to even get this image produced by DALL-E 3. So that is a DNF on this prompt for DALL-E 3. As you can see, if we do 2 very different characters like Walter White and Spider-Man, then things work out better, and we have near perfect images of these 2 pop culture characters. Although I gotta say, Walter White ain't looking too hot in some of these, but it clearly understands who Spider-Man is. Now, with a very basic prompt, I was able to get something very similar through on DALL-E 3's side, and all of these images honestly look pretty cool and good, especially this one, wow. But like, your risk is a lot higher of getting a copyrighted character just blocked entirely when you're generating with DALL-E 3. You can't even get them through at all in ChatGPT, and your mileage may vary inside of Bing Chat or Microsoft Designer. Now, V6 by all means is still an alpha, and it's not all perfect, not by any means. This is photo of a cow eating a cheeseburger, and I mean, it's a disaster. The cheeseburger's morphed into the cow's face, and it just can't seem to understand that. A simple prompt like a neon sign that reads MattVidPro might not yield any text at all, so to get good text you really have to prompt it specifically, but man, it really does shine in pure photorealism. And honest to God, it is way better than Midjourney V5, and it's a big leap forward. We didn't lose anything going to V6 from V5, and I think, you know, for what Midjourney has to work against, OpenAI with lots of funding from Microsoft and generally being ahead in terms of AI image development, they've pulled something off that is very impressive. All right, now I want to take Midjourney V6 to its max. How far can we take this thing with all the tools that we have at our disposal, giving it the maximum benefit of the doubt? Here is a Midjourney upscale of a very realistic movie scene where Tom Hanks is a McDonald's worker. As you can see, the upscaler is not too bad. It's no Magnific AI or Korea AI even. It's got like this weird rubbery texture to it, but it absolutely looks like Tom Hanks as a McDonald's worker, I'll give him that. I actually ran this through Magnific, and it did this weird thing where it made Tom Hanks like super old, and he also has like this weird like mustache unshaven part, but like I actually do prefer this upscale still over what we got from Midjourney's own built-in upscaler. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Oh, and we got one last little win from Nick again by Midjourney. Check this out, it passes the cigarette test. This is a very difficult test for AI image generators. Can they generate a cigarette actually in someone's mouth or in someone's hand? Midjourney absolutely succeeds in this. Very impressive. So yeah, Midjourney V6, it absolutely can do text. It's competitive with DALL-E 3 in a lot of areas. They each have their own strengths and differences, but let's get to the rub of this whole situation. Let's get down to business. Does Midjourney V6 compete with DALL-E 3? In my opinion, DALL-E 3 has been the leading image generator. It has the best text, it has the best understanding of the world around us, and it can produce the most. It's the most diverse, in my opinion. Some of the finer-tuned options aren't available for DALL-E 3 that we get with SDXL, etc. And like that makes comparing these very difficult. Midjourney V6, in my opinion, is just one step behind DALL-E 3 in a lot of areas. I think the text is almost as good as DALL-E 3, shockingly. The prompt understanding is a lot better than Midjourney V5, but still lags a little bit behind DALL-E 3. I do like the fact that you have a lot more control with Midjourney V6, less censorship, better understanding of pop culture characters, more aspect ratios to choose from, different modes. Most importantly too, Midjourney actually has in-painting, where shockingly DALL-E 3 has no in-painting, but your minimum for accessing Midjourney is $10 a month for V6, whereas DALL-E 3, because of Microsoft just wanting to pick up market share and let people try their new products, well, you can just access DALL-E 3 for entirely free. Otherwise, if you want to use the extremely censored version of DALL-E 3, you can do so inside of ChatGPT for a minimum of $20 a month, but you also get ChatGPT. Anyways, it's complicated. It's enough, definitely, for me to pick back up my Midjourney subscription. When DALL-E 3 released, I actually canceled my Midjourney subscription, but this has made me pick it back up. It's still an alpha, remember. It's going to end up being a really solid position for Midjourney. I think it puts them back on the map. And if they can get that website going with better ways to manipulate your images, maybe, I think they have a shot at competing with DALL-E 3. I think what they did is they looked at specific images that the AI was trained on, and they started to add text into the images to get it to pick up how to actually spell. Synthetic spelling, essentially. I think for the most part it worked out, but it does have this effect of making some of the text on screen look a little bit MS Paint, a little bit Photoshop, a little bit unnatural, rather than the more natural text you get out of DALL-E 3. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Check out more from Midjourney V6 from my community with the link to my Discord server in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.